Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Brendan Ecker Influence, where I teach you how to succeed, accomplish your dreams, and develop multiple income streams. So, I got into law enforcement a couple years ago, and it was more of a plan. It was always just more of a plan. And I executed on my plans, and I accomplished everything I wanted to in law enforcement, in all honesty. And now I'm just looking for something more. I'm looking for something deeper. This podcast, for example, that's something deeper, something more. It's challenging. It gives me this kind of excitement for the world. It makes me feel like everything is worthwhile. And so this is the life I'm interested in. So it brought me to entrepreneurship, but it's not just entrepreneurship. It's having a good life. Health, wealth, love, happiness, and freedom. That's an important thing. Okay, you can't have a powerful family if you don't have those things. Health, wealth, love, happiness, freedom. You need all of them in order to succeed. In order to have a great life that you can be proud of, you need to have that flexibility. And how can you have flexibility? Well, at the end of the day, it does require that you make a lot of money. And it's never been more true than in 2024 when everything is so expensive. We've never seen a recession quite like this. Some of the financial experts in the United States, Peter Schiff and so many more included, they say everything's going down.
I could argue in the developed countries, the big winners are countries that have shrinking populations. Okay, that's something that most people never talked about. You know, we always used to think shrinking population is a cause for negative growth. Shrinking demographics. These countries will rapidly develop robotics and AI and technology. And if the promise, I didn't say it's going to happen, but if the promise of all that transforms productivity, which most of us think it will, we'll be able to elevate the standard of living of countries and the standard of living of individuals, even with shrinking populations. And so the paradigm of negative population growth is going to be changing. And the social problems that one will have in substituting humans for machines is going to be far easier in those countries that have declining populations. And so for those countries that have rising populations, the answer will be education, and so rapidly develop. You know, for those countries that do not have a foundation of rule of law or education, they're going to be left. That's where the divide's going to get more and more extreme.
But since we've tweaked it so much, deliberately, I think, to create a false picture of the employment market, the numbers are not honest. Same thing with inflation. Inflation is actually much higher than the government numbers would reveal because that's how they've been designed. They've been designed deliberately to underreport the rate at which prices are rising because they take those rising prices and they have all kinds of ways of adjusting them to make the rise smaller. And that also means that the GDP numbers are inflated. The economy is not growing nearly as fast as the government claims. In fact, I think the economy is shrinking at the same time the government claims it's growing.
What do you think? Me personally, I think it's coming down too. So, why not go chase your dreams? World War III is already happening. Ukraine versus Russia. You have Israel versus Palestine. These ridiculous, stupid, meaningless wars that do not affect anybody but a few politicians in power. And usually, it's those like George Soros. Usually, it's those like the Rockefellers, the Rothschilds. It's a few people, even above the politicians, who own the politicians. You have to understand that there's a bigger and deeper game being played. You have to understand that everything you're seeing right now is to manipulate you into staying a slave and a peasant.